Hi, welcome to Code. This is day 6 of 100 days of code, and the question for today is called check for subsequence. So here's the question statement. Given two strings A and B, find if A is a subsequence of B. Okay, that sums up the question. So what it means is that you are given two strings and you have to check the characters in string A are in fact present in string B and in the right order. It doesn't mean that it has to be in a continuous fashion, but it has to be in the right order. So let me explain it a bit more so you'll understand it better. So here we have two strings, right, A and B, and string A is A, X and Y, right, and string B is Y, A, D, X, C, P. Okay, so what they are trying to tell is that all the characters that are present in string A, that is A, X and Y, should be present in the second string B and also in the right order. Okay, so A should come first, X should come next and Y should come after that, but it doesn't mean that it has to be the continuous characters, right? It doesn't have to be the subsequent character, but it should be present and in that order. But in this particular example, if you could see, it is not in the right order, right? Because Y is coming at first and AX are to the right of it, and this is not a valid subsequence. So you should be returning 0 for this, but this is the logic. I hope you got what I'm trying to tell. Now we'll come up with an approach that we could use to solve this problem, and I'll take another couple of strings, right, because this string is not the right answer. So I'll take another string and we'll go through the logic. So let us consider these two strings, and this will give us the answer as yes, right, A is a subsequence of B, and we'll first check that. So here we have G, right, and we have one G here, then we have K here, so that is present over here. We have S, that is the next character. I drew it right, but it is changing it. What do you want me to do? Okay, fine. Yeah, so then we have R, that is over here. We have E, so that is the fifth character, and finally K. So if you could see, all these characters that are present in string A are present in string B. They are not continuous, by which I mean that G is coming first, but K is not the second character in the second string, and that is not required as well, right? But although they are not coming in the continuous fashion, the order that it occurs is in fact the ascending order, or what I'm trying to tell is it is the same exact order which it is present in string A, right? So that is what we have here, and if this is the case, we are going to return 1 for that. Okay, now we'll come up with an approach, and it's quite simple, right? So let me just erase these things, and okay, so we'll have a couple of pointers in the sense, I don't mean it literally, not the ones that store addresses, but just a couple of variables, right? So one for string A and another one for string B. Let us call this one I and this one J, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to see if both these characters are same. Okay, now this is string A and this is string B, and we have I and J pointers. Now we are going to see if A of I is equal to B of J. This is the condition that we are going to check. Okay, if this condition is satisfied, you are going to move both I and J to its next position. Okay, we are going to move both I and J to the next position. If not, you are just going to move j to the next position. I'll explain why we are doing this in a bit, but this is the condition that you are going to use. So if both I and j are same, that is the characters that are present in index I and index j of string A and B respectively are same, you are going to move them to their next position, right? So I will be pointing at K and j will be pointing at E. So why do we do this? Because we have found both these characters are same, so that they like it is present in the second one, right? The character that is present in string A is present in string B. So we are done with this character and we are going to check for the next character if it is present, right? Now for the value of I we have K and for j we have E. It is not same. So in that case we are just going to move the value of j or increment the value of j. So why are we doing this? We know that string B is greater than string A. So what do I mean by greater, right? So the length of string B is greater than string A, and we are required to find that all characters in string A should be present in string B in the right order and not the other way around, right? So we can just increment the value of j with having I at the same position, because we still have to verify that character that is present at ith index, that is in K in this case, is present in string B. We still have to verify that K is present in string B. So we are just moving the incrementing the value of j and not I, because we still have to verify that character at ith index is present in string B, right? So we are moving it, and as we could see, it is not in this place as well, and we are moving the value of j again, and for this instance it is in fact pointing at K, right? So it's a match. In that case it comes under the first condition. So we'll increment the value of both I and j. So I will be now pointing at S and j will be now pointing at its next character, which is S again, and the first condition comes again. So both these characters are same. We are just going to increment them. We are just going to increment them. So I is pointing at R and j is pointing at F, right? Now are these two same? They are not. So we are just going to increment the value of j. So now j is pointing at O. It is still not same. So we are going to increment the value of j, and it is pointing at R now. Okay, now both these values are same. We are going to increment I and j. So I hope you get the point, right? If they are same, you are just going to increment both I and j. If it is not same, you are just going to increment the value of j, because we have lot more characters in the string B, and j is the pointer for that, and we have to verify every single character in string A is present in B and not the other way around. So we are just going to increment the j if the characters are not same, so that we can check if the next character is present in the string B, right? So you can do this, but what is the breaking condition, or when do we finally say that these strings are in fact valid, or string A is a subsequence of string B, right? So when do we say that? So for that condition to occur, the I variable, right, the I pointer should reach the end of the string. Okay, so the I pointer is what we use for string A, right? So when it reaches the end of the string, only then we can say that every single character that is present in string A is present in string B and in the right order. Because if the order is not right, I will not be incremented, right? I hope you get it, right? So only when I reaches the end of string A, we can say that all characters in string A are string A is a subsequence of string B, right? Okay, so this is the logic, and the condition is the I value, it reaches the end. Okay, if I value reaches the end, it means that you can say it is true. Okay, the particular input that we currently have satisfies the condition. If j reaches the end, if j reaches the end, you can say that it is not a valid set of input. Okay, so I hope you got the logic. Now we'll try to code this and see if it works. Okay, so is subsequence is the method that we are going to fill in, and it requires you to return a boolean variable. Okay, so as we already discussed, we are just going to create a couple of variables I and j, and we are going to initialize both of them to 0, right, because it is starting from the beginning of the string, and we were going to traverse through these strings, right? So we need a loop for that, and I am going to use while loop, and the condition is just going to be while of 1. Okay, so while of 1 means that it is an infinite loop and it runs forever. So we have to give some breaking condition inside of this loop in order for this to work, right? That is the condition that we discussed already, and we'll come back to that later. Now we'll just finish up with the traversing part, right? So while of 1, so this loop is going to run forever, and inside this you are just going to check if a of I is equal to b of I. If it is the case, you are just going to increment the value of I and increment the value of j. Done. Okay, and you can just say continue. So it will move on to the next iteration. Now if this is not the case, else, so it means that array of I is not equal to a of I is not equal to b of I, right? So in that case, you are just going to increment the value of j. Okay, because we still have to verify that character that is currently present in string A is present in string B, right? So you're just going to increment the value of j and say continue. Okay, now this is the traversing condition. Now we are going to come to the breaking point, the point at which we say that this is a valid string or this is not a valid string, and come out of this loop, right? So I'm going to give that at the starting of the loop, and that condition is if I equals a dot size. Okay, if I equals a dot size, it means that the variable I or the pointer I that we use to traverse through string A has reached the end of the string. So it means that every single character that is encountered in A before this has already occurred in string B. Okay, so it's a subsequence. So in that case, you can return 1. And if j reaches the end of string B, so j equals b dot size, it means that j has reached the end of string B. In that case, we can say that this is not a valid subsequence, like string A is not a subsequence of string B, because I hasn't reached the end. So we still have some characters to be verified with string B, but string B is over, string B is already done. So in that case, you can say it is not a subsequence. So this is it. If you want, you can just give a return statement at the end of this method, but it will definitely return inside the loop itself. Okay, so now we'll run this and see if it works. I'm so sorry, I have given b of I instead of b of j, so it is working fine now. I hope you didn't make the same mistake as well. So all the test cases have been passed and code has been accepted. Hope you got the logic. If you have any questions, put them in the comments, and if you have solved it, post it on LinkedIn and tag me and I'll see it. So thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video of 100 Days of Code. Bye for now.